consumed by fear. Rupture of the mind.
Hello and welcome to our video guide for the spider-themed summoner build. The ARAKAALI'S FANG summoner is a well-established and powerful summoner archetype that utilizes the raised spider skill granted by the unique dagger as its main source of damage. By default, you can summon up to 20 spiders at once. They are completely immune to damage, limited only by their duration. Patch 3.26 introduced a new unique helmet that massively improves this setup. The Dark Monarch doubles the summon limit of one type of minions, but disables all other types. With the Raised Spiders variant, you will be able to summon 40 spiders, and will be free of the burden of the Animate Guardian and Raised Spectres setups. To summon your minions, you have to kill enemies. The easy way to get kills is to use the Writhing Jar Flask, and give your mercenary the Squirming Terror Ring. They create worms that can be killed with any hit, summoning your spiders in the process if there are enough corpses nearby. Any death caused by your minion's poison will count as your own. Thanks to this feature, you only need to summon a few spiders at the start of the map, and the rest will happen automatically with no extra effort. Triggering this skill upon reaching the maximum limit will not refresh their duration. The spider's hits always inflict poison, making it the easy and obvious way to scale your damage. To easily summon your minions, you should use the Divine Ire spell. It will rapidly hit all enemies around you, while also creating corpses with the cast while channeling setup. The build can become very durable. You will block most of the incoming hits, suppress spells, evade attacks, and thanks to the Necromancer ascendancy, your minions will leech life for you. Your minions tend to spread out and cover a large area instead of focusing on the same enemy, making your clear speed very good. Once your minions target a single enemy, they will defeat it very quickly, although poisons require a few seconds to fully ramp up. It is recommended to have at least 10 Divine Orbs for a comfortable beginning, but you only truly need the very cheap ARAKAALI'S FANG dagger to start if you have some experience with summoner builds already. There are lots of unique items used in this build. The ARAKAALI'S FANG and at least one source of worms are mandatory. You can't summon spiders without it. The Dark Monarch and the Squire are quite cheap ways to double your damage. ARAKAALI'S FANG is the only source of raised spiders currently available in the game. It is a mandatory item for this build. Thankfully, it is not very expensive. Gems socketed in this weapon will affect your spiders. The Squire grants 3 extra support gems for the spider setup. It is not that cheap, but also not overly expensive either. It is not required at start, but will be necessary as you start to engage more difficult content. The Dark Monarch doubles the amount of raised spiders, but disables other minion types. It doubles your damage, but disables the defense and utility usually sourced from the raised specters and animated guardian. Make sure to pick the proper variant. With the Leash of Ablation belt, you can have both offerings at the same time, but you will have to recast them more often. Without it, you would have to choose between a defensive boost for yourself or an offensive boost for your minions. Doppelganger Guise is a very strong defensive armor that provides a huge amount of physical damage mitigation, as well as solid life recovery after being hit. The Utula's Hunger is a very good budget option. It allows you to skip maximum life modifiers on your other gear pieces, massively reducing their price in order to get high amounts of damage, chaos resistance, and spell suppression. With the Corpse Walker boots, you won't need to use the Desecrate to summon spiders or cast offerings. It is a great quality of life improvement, but lowers your survivability compared to regular rare boots. Defiance of Destiny is simply the best defensive amulet you can get in the game. It massively helps against enemies that hit you often, but doesn't prevent large lethal hits. Amanamu's Gaze is the only source of damage over time multiplier for your minions available on equipment. You will need 4 other Ghastly Eye Jewels to activate the full bonus. The Fortress Covenant is a simple yet effective jewel that can grant you a lot of damage. Socket it in the cluster jewel socket to avoid the downside effect. The rare gear pieces are quite typical for the summoner archetype, although you can skip any investments into minion survivability or gem levels, as the spiders are invulnerable to damage. For your own defense, you will need to cap resistance and get as much maximum life and spell suppression as possible. You will also need plenty of dexterity for the gem requirements. The Bone Ring can provide tons of damage for your minions. Look for increases to their damage, attack speed, and movement speed. Defensively, it can provide maximum life, resistance, or minimum endurance charge. The gloves should provide you lots of maximum life, resistance, and spell suppression, but you can also get plenty of increases to your minion damage as well. The boots should provide a lot of movement speed and other usual defensive modifiers. They can also help you avoid various ailments. At first, getting enough resistances, attributes, and suppression might be hard and expensive. Use the rare amulet to cover those basic necessities. Use a rare belt to cover lacking resistances and get a high amount of maximum life. Always try to use the Stygian Vice to get the extra Abyss Jewel. Abyss Jewels provide a massive amount of damage. Look for flat physical or chaos damage for your minions, or increase their attack and movement speed. You should have at least one jewel with a chance to blind enemies on hit. Unfortunately, your minions cannot taunt. Look for cluster jewels with increased effect of small notables and attack speed for minions. Having extra resistance or dexterity here will greatly ease collecting your remaining gear pieces. Activating the Writhing Jar Flask creates 2 worms that can be killed to summon your minions. Be aware that your other minions and mercenaries will try to kill the worms as well. For your remaining magic flasks, you will need 1 life flask with bleeding removal, and a defensive set of utility flasks that grant you evasion rating, phasing, and lots of movement speed. There are plenty of mercenaries suitable for this build. The default recommendation is the Cruel Mistress, which provides a unique envy aura and curses enemies with the Despair skill for maximum damage. You can also use the Striker to get some personal defense, hire the Bladecaster to provide the Grace aura and inflict spider's webs on enemies, or team up with the Kineticist to improve your clear speed. The Anathema Ring allows your mercenary to apply 2 extra curses without overwriting your own mark. You can raise the mercenary curse limit even higher if you use items with extra power charges. The Squirming Terror Ring periodically creates worms, which you can kill to summon your spiders. Equipping 2 of them will make the summoning even easier, but you would have to use different items to raise the curse limit. With the Asenath's Gentle Touch Gloves, your mercenary will apply the temporal chains on any hit. The explosions can noticeably help with your clear speed, especially if paired with the Obliteration Wand. You can also corrupt it to apply Enfeeble on hit. The Eternal Struggle Amulet is a mediocre choice for yourself, as you will rarely personally attack enemies, but the mercenaries are doing it constantly. They will easily cull enemies as soon as they reach 15% of their maximum life. The Calm's Binding is a very good defensive option that lowers the physical damage dealt by enemies. Use it if your mercenary prefers to engage enemies in close combat. Thanks to the Victario's Charity Shield, your mercenary can generate frenzy charges for your minions. You might also use the replica version, which generates endurance charges for yourself. Give your mercenary a hunter-influenced helmet that lowers the chaos resistance of nearby enemies. The rest of the modifiers on the remaining rare items should be used to cover resistance and improve life regeneration. Ray's spider skill is triggered by killing an enemy. The spiders use an attack that always poisons on hit, but its base damage is a bit low, so you should add extra damage from other sources. Socket those gems inside the dagger and shield. You should replace the multi-strike for the melee splash support during clearing maps. You can also replace the unbound ailments with the minion speed, especially if you lack minion movement speed on your gear. The Malevolence aura improves the poison damage of your spiders and prolongs their duration, so you have to resummon them less often. Tempest Shield makes you immune to shock and provides a large amount of spell block chance. Precision improves the accuracy rating of your minions. Try to use the highest level possible for your amount of mana. Arctic armor makes you immune to freeze and lowers incoming fire and physical damage while standing still. You can also use an aspect of the spider instead. The Envy aura adds a lot of flat chaos damage to your minions' attacks. It is usually available only via specific unique items, but it can also be granted by the cruel Mistress Mercenary. Flesh Offering improves the attack and movement speed of your minions. All offering spells require nearby corpses to be used. Bone Offering is a defensive offering that grants a lot of block chance for yourself. You will need the Leash of Ablation Belt to use both of them at once. Despair is an offensive curse that lowers the chaos resistance of affected enemies. If you can't find the mercenary with this skill, you should cast it manually. If you have a mercenary that applies the Despair curse, you can use the Poacher's Mark so your minions can generate frenzy charges. You can also use the Enfeeble curse for better defense. You can use the Arcanist brand to automate those utility skills with just one button press. Depending on your setup, casting them manually might be more comfortable. Divine Ire is a channeling spell that continuously deals damage around you. Use it to kill worms and summon spiders. Desecrate creates corpses necessary for spawning spiders and using offering spells. You can have up to 10 corpses at once, which allows you to summon up to 20 spiders at the same time. Socketing other spells in this setup will make summoning your spiders more difficult. You can also use faster casting here if your minions steal kills from you too much. Immortal Call is a guard skill that lowers incoming damage. Adjust the gem levels to your preferences. Cast when damage taken triggers more often at lower gem levels, but the spells it casts will be less efficient. Shield Charge is a movement skill that can be used without a cooldown. Thanks to the minion's attack speed affecting you, it will be very fast. You should still use the faster attack support to make it even faster. Extra quality from the enhanced support is also useful here. Frost Blink is an instant teleport used to quickly dodge incoming attacks and cross terrain gaps. It also chills enemies caught in the chilling ground it creates. Kill all 3 bandits to get 1 additional passive skill point, or kill a Lyra to help with gearing. The Major Soul of ARAKAALI greatly reduces the damage you take from overtime effects, but if you don't have any other source of freeze immunity, you will have to use the Soul of the Brine King here. The minor Pantheon power is not very impactful. We recommend picking up the Soul of Shikari to deal with poisons, or Soul of Abarath to negate burning ground effects. To equip the ARAKAALI'S FANG dagger, you will have to reach level 53. Unlocking their full potential takes even more time, as the Dark Monarch helmet requires level 80. Having multiple copies of the Squirming Terror Ring on you and your mercenary will make the campaign much more tolerable in terms of summoning your army in every new location. To complete the first stages of the campaign, we recommend using the Summon Raging Spirits, or Blink Arrow of the Bombarding Clones if you have access to transfigured gems. It will be a very easy and effortless process, as minions are famous for their easy early game progression with minimal gear. The final passive tree is very simple. There are not that many useful minion notables on the passive tree. You will have to use 2 large cluster jewels with 12 passives each to efficiently spend your passive points. The remaining points are used for defense. You will need to increase your maximum life, improve your block chance, and make your spell suppression chance lucky. The Eldritch Battery Keystone is an easy fix for your mana sustain, but with some extra investments you could make proper defensive use of your energy shield, as you won't cast spells that often. We hope you find the guide helpful and informative. If you want to see more of our work, we encourage you to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.